unbelievable. So, and
I was actually very curious about your use of letters.
the what?
I was very curious about your use of letters in your work, whether it be a V or a T or
Yeah.
these P's or upside down P's, especially in the essay where Mario Diacono speaks about these particular letters being protagonists or antagonists and kind of
Yeah.
charging the works with this narrative.
Yeah, this is the when I don't know how to start really in English. I mean, maybe in the last 200 years, maybe we had a world which is totally everybody was more believing in words and in letters and in a sentence than in an image. And now we're changing in a world where everybody is believing more in an image. You know, when you see this, I found out this in a very interesting book, say about the every front covers of the New York Times since the newspaper was starting, and you see really, you know, the first newspapers, the first 50 years only letters, like a text would today nobody would read it, nobody. And then with this Lindbergh thing, you know, where they killed the little boy, the first image in black and white was on the New York Times on the front page. And then you see, and then actually September 11, they changed. I think it was September 11. They changed everything in a color image on the front page. Before it was black and white. So. And I think now everything is changing back to that we believe more in images. You know, the whole world is. My daughter in the school, when she's learning now the first year in school, they have only images. When they touch the images, like the iPhone app or whatever, they touch us and then they say, this is this and this is this. I have learned only very dry letters, and then I got to my then I came, you know. Then the alphabet came, and the letter as an aspect, and the design as a letter, I find always very interesting because this is the first uniform language. What some stonemason decided 1,000 years ago. You know, they started with the Antiqua, so that we had a kind of a strong order. What does a letter look like? Because 1 million people want to use the same thing, and they need the same, you know, strong, whatever it's called, system or design or whatever. And that's an amazing footprint into history. And then also we have some very funky things today, you know, with the Photoshop elements and all the stuff what we can find on flyers, techno flyers and heavy metal letters. So they change really, this is in a very visual way, they change it, this strong system, they change this back in an image, you know, that you can see. This is more like a logo again, to see, you know, the 4 letters of Nike is more for us like a symbol and the logo than that we say, oh, that's an N, an I, a K, and a E. So that's yeah, I don't know this exactly in English how it's called. Iconography things, whatever. Yeah.
You know, it's quite interesting. Like what you mentioned just then makes me think of a lot of I guess specifically black metal bands, they have logos with the name of the band, and a lot of times you can't actually read the name of the band because the letters are so stylized. So you actually have to know the logo and then go and find later what the letters are actually spelling out, but they're kind of secondary to what the image.
Yeah, but this is, I mean, this is on one hand interesting, and then on the other hand, I mean, I know this, I have a lot of things of this, but then it's also totally boring because they all follow only a very kitschy genre. So when I would play in a doom metal band, maybe I would design my record cover like a jazz album or something. And then on the other hand, in the record stores, you see also visually this is a jazz band because they have the same little bit boring academic blah blah blah, but still high quality jazz. And the heavy metal guys, they have this so, and the techno, they have a zack zack zack. So it is so genre boring. But the tools are interesting for me, and I use the tools, but I have to mix the tools, of course. Otherwise, I'm also genre, and that's not timeless enough. So, good last sentence. It's not timeless enough.
What do you think about Mario's title, The Exotic is Heritage?
Yeah, I tried to translate it, but in a German translation it makes no sense. So there's no way. There is no way to. I have a personal translator, a lady I'm always working with in Berlin, and I tried this on the computer when you can, Google, and they said nothing, wrong. So I have to ask him. But I mean, the English is my second language, so, and for Mario as well. So this is still also, it's a different thing. We are both have the communication about the second language means. My German context is much more bigger, so I'm not able to talk very special in English. So I have a conversation in English, nothing more. And maybe it's full of whatever. At the moment, I'm not, I don't know. But when I ask him, maybe he can find some other words to explain. But I need a kind of an English person who speaks my German language to ask what it is. At the moment, I don't know. And also, I mean, I'm not able to get a text really very professional, so I can read it a little bit, but I'm not. My English is totally bloody, so it's not very good. Actually,
we were trying to figure out the title, and we kind of thought that it was like there's nothing new under the sun, kind of like something like the exotic is not it's blasphemy, like it's not unknown. Nothing is exotic. Yeah, there's nothing new. I mean,
because he also talks about the collective imaginary, right? And
collective memory.
Yeah, collective memory. And we kind of thought that, like, all of us get the same ideas and the same images in front of us, like, especially with all these brands, and that maybe with
public memory.
Yeah, and that maybe that is what he meant. That nothing is exotic, nothing is
really
alien to any one of us anymore. And we also thought that maybe that's what you were trying to do with your paintings, but I mean, it's always hard to say. But like to collect all of these things you see, and
yeah, I mean, to searching for the latest thing is also kitschy, and I mean, we have a lot of things we can deal with, but in a very intelligent way, and that's still enough. So to do, otherwise, yeah, maybe you get silly then, and your on the end of your days, you're crazy and nobody understands you anymore. Could be. If you're searching really always the latest thing. Mm.